Rodionov's here. Today is the 20th day since I finished my 40-day water fast. And during that fast I found the answer to the question that I was looking for the last 20 years, doing all sorts of cleanses, fasting, dieting, and the question was why after each cleanse or diet or fasting my body was gaining weight and gaining toxins. Why? And today I'm going to tell you the answer. In my previous videos I talked about pH balance, and I talked about the most popular, not the most effective, but the most popular way to control pH balance. One of them was alkaline diet. And today I'm going to talk about breathing. Breathing, one of the functions of breathing, natural functions of breathing, is controlling pH of the body. And I'm not going to talk too much about pH of the body. I'm going to talk about gas exchange between body and the air. So most people know that there's air around them, and that air consists of multiple gases. And the two most common or most known gases are oxygen and carbon dioxide. Its chemical formula is CO2. And people think of oxygen as very good and carbon dioxide as poison and very bad. That's wrong. People or living things cannot exist without carbon dioxide. I'd say it is even more important than oxygen, and I'll tell you why. When we breathe in, the air goes into the lungs, and that's where blood gets into direct contact with the air. And part of the blood is hemoglobin, and hemoglobin is responsible to deliver oxygen into the body cells, into all the organs and the cells. And I want to give you an example. Let's say my hand is hemoglobin in blood, and this ball is oxygen or molecule of oxygen in the air. So in the lungs, hemoglobin catches that molecule of oxygen and carries into the body through the blood vessels and gets it to a cell or next to a cell. And that's where it is supposed to release into the cell, that oxygen, so the cell can use that oxygen to function. But the very interesting thing that the release mechanism of this oxygen is dependent on carbon dioxide that is present or supposed to be present in blood. And if the level of carbon dioxide is low and it's not in the vicinity of this hemoglobin with the oxygen molecule, the release is not happening. It doesn't happen, so the hemoglobin continues moving through the blood, carrying this oxygen molecule, and the cell starves of that oxygen. So the blood is saturated with oxygen, but the cells starve of oxygen. They still get some. There's always some level of CO2 in the blood, but when it goes down, when it diminishes, cells start to starve of oxygen. And the study, 40-year study that I'm going to talk in the next videos, explained or proved that most people, more than 90% of people, have lower level of CO2 than necessary for optimal work of the body. It's just amazing. So what happens with the cells when they don't have enough oxygen? Their functions start to diminish. And because all our body consists of those cells and all the organs consist of those cells, the function of those organs diminish. And when the function of the organs diminish, the body is prone to get sick, and the higher the level of this decrease, the higher probability of illnesses, and more ill the body becomes. That's as simple as that. And what's the answer? The answer is very simple: to raise the level of CO2 in the blood, like percentage. And I'm going to talk about the mechanics and how it can be done in my next videos if you want to, if you're interested. But this is the essence, this is the answer that I was looking for, and I finally found it. I found this data in the beginning of my research almost 20 years ago, and when I found it, it was very interesting. I liked it a lot. I even started doing breathing exercises for increasing the CO2 level, but somehow it didn't feel very important and I dropped it. And I didn't return to it. Not true. I was aware of that, and I was trying to keep my breathing to lower level to conserve the CO2, but I wasn't able to achieve that higher level of CO2 in the blood. So that was the answer. That's the reason why my body was getting toxins and getting fat after each cleanse or fasting. And I can compare it to, let's say you have a friend or family member and they have a problem in life, a relationship or at work or something else, and you know exactly how to help. You know that your knowledge of handling this problem would help 100%, no fail. And you're talking about this to the person, and you tell them what needs to be done, how it can be resolved, and the person says, yes, I understand, very good, thank you very much, but does nothing. How do you feel? You feel frustrated. You feel that you're trying to help, but the person, you can't. It's a very unpleasant feeling. And I was that person who saw the data but couldn't apply, didn't realize how important it was until almost 20 years later. Lots of struggle and being frustrated as well, trying to find the answer. And once I returned to this thought and I did more research, I finally realized that's the bomb. That is so huge, it's unbelievable. And there is a 40-year research that proves it. And the reason of my videos is to share it with the world. I want the world to know that this exists and this will be used by humanity sooner or later. I don't know how long it will take, but it will be used. Lots of people already use it, hundreds, thousands probably, but the reason of this video is to share it with you, and I'm asking you to look into it, to use it if you see value. If you don't, keep it in mind, and if you know somebody who is sick, you might be able to help them sharing this data. You can refer them to these videos or just tell them to do research on breathing and how CO2 can cure their illnesses. There's a list of over 100 most popular, most common illnesses known to men that are cured by increasing CO2 level in the blood. One of them is asthma. For now, that's all I wanted to say. In this video, I shared my not secret, the answer. I want to wish you great health, success and prosperity. And if you like the video, put likes and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next video.